Hello, in this video we're going to show you how to assemble this sideboard. Before we get started, here's a few things to keep in mind. Make sure you have a Phillips head screwdriver, a second person can be helpful, make sure to set aside plenty of time, and just make sure all the pieces are facing the right way and you'll do great. In this video we're going to focus on the trickier parts and go quickly through the easy steps. So just make sure you pause the video and complete all the steps as we go. So let's get into it. In step 1, we'll be putting cam bolts into pieces 1, 14, 16, 17, 21, and 22. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, now we can move on. In step 2, we'll be putting cam bolts into pieces 4, 5, 3, and 6. Okay, we can move on. In step 3, we just want to make sure that we have the correct pieces matching together. So we have pieces 3 and 20, 6 and 19, 4 and 21, and 5 and 22. So we'll go ahead and take 4 of our dowels and we'll put 2 into each of piece 3 and 6. And then with pieces 20 and 19, we just want to make sure that these cam lock holes are facing inwards towards the curve like this. And these holes should line up. And then we can secure those with our cam locks. And then the same thing with piece 6 and 19. Just want these cam lock holes to be facing inwards towards the curve. And then we'll secure that with our cam locks as well. And then we'll put 2 dowels into pieces 21 and 22. And then these just line up at the bottom. And then we'll put in our cam locks on these as well. Okay, we can move on. In step 4, we're going to be putting these pieces together. We've already done the part with pieces 3, 5, and 9. And now we're going to put together pieces 4, 6, and 7. So we'll start off by getting pieces 6 and 7. And then on piece 7, we have this curve that'll line up the curve of the inside of piece 6. So we'll go ahead and line these holes up here. And don't forget our dowel into this hole here. And then that'll line up like that. And then we'll put in our cam locks. And once those 2 cam locks are in, we'll take our other dowel and put it in the hole here. And we'll tip this like that. And this piece, we just want to make sure that we have this groove on the same edge as this groove so that they're facing each other like this. Like that. And then put in our cam locks to the back here. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 5, we're going to put piece 14 onto these 2 pieces here. And we just want to make sure that it's on the end of these pieces that doesn't have the gap down here, and then also these cam lock holes should be at the bottom. And then also just make sure that you have your dowels up in here, 4 on each piece. And then we'll flip this up and put it on top. Okay, once that's all lined up, we can put the 2 legs in right here. And then we can put in our bolts, and you can use the included hex key, but I'm just going to use the hex bit on my screwdriver. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 6, we'll start by attaching piece 15 to piece 1. And we just want to make sure that the cam lock holes are facing this way. So first we'll put in 2 dowels here and here, and then we'll take piece 15 and put it on here. And then we'll lock that in place with our cam locks. Then once those are tight, we can set this aside. And then we'll take pieces 18 as well as 16 and 17 and we'll put these together. So for this, we'll put dowels into pieces 16 and 17 next to the cam bolts. And then pieces 18 will go between 17 and 16. And then we just want to make sure that these holes line up so that the cam lock holes are facing inwards on the legs like this. And then we'll lock that in place with our cam lock. And then same thing on the other side. This hole should be towards the top Yeah, we'll go in like this. Another frame of reference is the unfinished edge should be facing upwards. And then we'll attach this side the same way. Once those are all tight, we're good to move on. In step 7, we'll take this piece and attach it to the bottom of here. But first we need to put in our dowels. And we can take this piece and put it on top. We just want to line up the legs that have this overhang with these rounded parts here. And then we'll lock that in place with our cam locks. Okay, once the cam locks are in, we're also going to put in 4 bolts through the bottom into the 2 holes in the sides. Okay, once those are all tight, we're good to move on. In step 8, we'll put in the back panels. Just make sure that you put the bigger panel in the middle and so that the tape is facing backwards. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 9, we're going to put on the top panel. So first we'll put in our dowels into the holes here. And just make sure it's the inner holes. And then there's 1 hole on this side and 1 hole on this side. Next we can grab our top panel and put that in place. Okay, once that's on, we'll go ahead and put in all of the cam locks on the inside. Okay, once those are all tight, we're good to move on. In step 10, we'll attach all of the hinges. Just make sure that you have the part with the little cup going into the door. Now, we've already done that on all the doors, and we've also attached 3 of the doors, and we'll just show you how to attach the last one. So we'll take our door and line it up with the holes, and then we'll take our first screw and put it in one of the holes, and then tighten that one with our screwdriver. And then we'll take a second screw and put it into the bottom hinge. Then those 2 screws should hold our door in place, and we can put in the rest of the screws. Okay, once all of our screws are tight, we can check the evenness of our door. And if you need help adjusting your hinges, we have a video all about that. But other than that, we're good to move on and put in our shelves. So we'll grab our shelf pegs and we can stick those on the inside. Just make sure they're all on the same level so that our shelf is even. And we can put it on our shelf with the cable management hole at the back and rest it in on the pegs. Okay, once that's in, we're all done. We hope this video was helpful for you in assembling your new sideboard. For more guides, tips, and tricks, go to walkeredison.com.